Hi guys, Assalamualaikum dan very good morning everyone. I think we're still missing more than 10 of your friends, but I think we should get started. Okay. Assalamualaikum semua. So for today we're going to discuss some topic from the lecture 8, which is a device management, which you guys have done a very good job in presenting some of the topic based on the group. Okay, but I only want to will pick few from which is I think it need to be highlighted, so it's easier for you guys to understand and to do the tutorial. I hope you already done your tutorial. So the agenda for today is first is to discuss some of the few slides from this lecture, which is device management, and then after that we're going to do some tutorial question from the tutorial. Can you guys hear me? Dengar? Ibnu? Can hear. Thank you, Rebecca. So nanti kita akan discuss maybe 2 questions from the tutorial from device management. Okay, before that we discuss I think 3 or 4 slides only from this lecture. Then after that we do some exercise, which is I wanted to do the exercise first, which is I will share the slide of the tutorial question. Then I give you maybe 10 or 15 minutes to solve the question. Then after that we do some discussion. Okay. Then after that is lecture 10. For lecture 10, which 9 and 10, which is I already uploaded last week. If you can see, there's a provided YouTube link. The 9, 10 is quite, I'm not so say it's very simple, but if you watch the video, it's easy to understand. It's more to theoretical, which is, for me, I don't think it's much discussion need to be done, unless if you have question. I hope you already read the lecture. But I will pick one topic from lecture 10 to discuss today. The rest tu you kena baca sendiri lah. The topic that I pick is most likely to be asked in the exam. Okay, guys, your exam will be in week 14, which is 19 hari bulan, 19th of January. Okay, hari Rabu. Okay, please mark your calendar. Hari Rabu, 19 January. Okay, 9 to 11. The mode is online, so you guys are already familiar. The topic covers only 4 last topic, which is 9, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, dan 10. 9 and 10 is one lecture actually. Okay, but we call it lecture 9 and 10, file management. So 4 topics only, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 9 and 10 is one topic. Faham tak? Bukan semua, hari tu saya cakap semua kan salah. Because the first 4 already been asked in your quiz and your midterm. So for the final exam only the last 4. Okay, the last 4. And then for 8, 9, and 10, most likely that need to be discussed with you guys is the calculation type. For the reading, maksudnya yang untuk yang theoretical tu you can read on your own. Okay, it's quite simple. Okay, so for today, okay, let's get started. So saya janji nak discuss some of the slides because it's not included in your friend's presentation. Let me share the slide. Okay, mana slide dia? Think. Okay, I'm sharing the PDF. So okay, what we're going to discuss today is the device handler 6 strategies, which is this is not included in your friend presentation. Okay, they tak include. Okay, I purposely asked them not to include that section. Alright. Okay, we have learned about the movable head for read and write, and also the fixed head. So there's two types of head. Head is the dalam disk is used to read from the surface of the disk. Okay, it's read to read the data from the surface of the disk. So there's a two types, the movable head and fixed head. So movable head has an arm. Okay, dia ada arm. So kat ujung tu, you imagine it's a head to read from the surface. So it's moving from one track to another track. So kalau fixed, dia tak move. Okay, if you read the slide, there's dalam ni ada explanation of the differences between fixed head and movable heads. This is a fixed head. You can see here, dia macam jarum kan, is a fixed head. For each track, there's a one head for read and write. So it's not moving, dia tak bergerak pun. So it's not moving. So it's less noise lah in terms of mechanical. So kalau untuk movable head, this is the movable head. Kita tak contoh lain. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. This is the movable head. Okay, movable head is will bergerak from one track to another track. So the arm is moving. It's not fixed. Okay, unlike the fixed track. The fixed macam ni je, satu je. So they will rotate. So this fixed will remain in this position, and they have a head for each of the track. For example, here they have 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. So they have 4 heads to read and write to the surface. Okay. So this is the track. Dia macam stadium. You ingat stadium berlari je, macam balapan. This is we call track. Okay. This is a track. So in this example, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 track. Okay. And then in each of the track, they have a sector. Dalam ni ada sector. Okay, dia macam ni. This is the sector. Yang kecil-kecil ni, sector. Sector to hold the records. Okay. This is track, and this of this area we call sector. So it can start in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. Bahama, the differences between sectors and track. Okay. Track is like a ring. Sector is the section inside the track. Okay. Ini contoh lah, sector dengan track. So the thing I want to discuss is the 6 strategies. 3 strategies is to find the position where they want to read or write the data to the surface. Okay. This is the rotation. Tahu kan rotation is like to rotate this. When they read, they need to pusing. Okay, they need to pusing. Okay. So here is record 1, record 2. For example, here, as this rotate record 1 may be near or read right head and ready to be scanned as seen in A. So this is the head. So it's the near. Contoh ni jauh, dia kena rotate. So it can be read by the head. Okay, this is an example to show you the position of the record that needs to be read by the head. Okay, inilah seek time, search time, and transfer time. This has been defined by your friends in the group presentation. What is a seek time? What is a search time? What is transfer time? Okay, kat sini ada. Nah, contohnya kat sini. Okay, seek time is time to from one track to another track to seek time. Search time is to rotate. Okay, search time is to rotate from one sector to another sector. Itu beza dia. Seek time is to move to position the head. Okay, to position the read and write head from one track to another track, that we call seek time. And search time is time to rotate. Okay, from one sector to another sector. Atau if you go another references, you can see the rotational delay is the same time. It's the same thing. Okay. So transfer time is to transfer data from the cylinder to the secondary memory. To transfer, maksudnya time to transfer data daripada surface from the disk to the memory, to the secondary memory. Okay, so faham mas, seek time is from one track to another track. Okay, time untuk dia bergerak dari satu track ke another track, that is a seek time. Search time is to move from one sector to another sector, for the head to move. Kan dia pusing tu, kan dia pusing kan, for the head to move, for the disk to rotate. That's the search time until its position under the read and write ahead. Okay? Faham? Dalam ni semua, dalam nota semua ada definition dia. You have to read the notes. But I believe I already read it. For those who can go back to this note and read. Okay, the definition is in this note. The seek time is for track. Search time is for the sector. Okay, from sector to another sector. Seek time is from one track to another track. Transfer time is to transfer the data from the space to the memory. Okay. Okay, now kita tengok contoh ni. Okay, this is the device handle 6 strategies. Okay. This is for the movable heads. Okay, so they're moving the arm. Okay. This is the request. Yang paling senang adalah first come, first serve. Okay, kat sini. Aduh. Sorry, I hope you guys can see it. Okay. Finish it. Okay. Okay, it's moving the arm. Okay, they're moving the arm of the head so they can go to the requested file. Okay, they go to the okay, the scheduling algorithm goes into minimize arm. When you don't want the arm to move too frequent or too much. Okay, minimize response time and minimize parent in response time. This is for movable head. So they at the head, at the arm, they're moving the arm, okay, to go to the position of the requested file or record. Okay, so they're using using a different algorithm. What is algorithm? Is a method. It's a method to go to that position. Okay, here is the first come and first serve. Okay, this here nampak tak? This is a list of requests. Okay, they request file 15. So we start at 15, and after they request 15, and then the next file requested is 4, then 40, 11, 35, and 7. Okay, this is a slide 38. Everyone's follow so far? Boleh faham tak? Boleh, Rebecca? Okay. So this is the requested file. So you imagine, we visualize it's like this. Actually, it's in the surface of the cylinder. So the arm need to move to go to that specific location in the list. Okay. So the track. So here only go to the track. So tadi ada track macam stadium kan? So the requested track is 15. The first requested track is 15. So we assume it start at track number 15. So after 15, the next request is at the track number 4. So they can travel from, okay, this is my right, is travel to the edge of the right. So they can travel to track number 4. And after that, the next requested is 40. So they akan pergi dekat 40. After 40, the next requested file is 11. Then after that, 35, 7, and the last one is 14. This is first come, first serve algorithm. As you can see here, it seems to us that arm is busy moving, right? Kanan kiri, kanan kiri, kanan kiri, right? Because this first come and first serve. So they follow this algorithm, they follow this method. So how you want to differentiate or determine whether this algorithm is good or not? So what you're gonna do is the total number of travel tracks 135, which is 15 to 4. How many tracks they need to, how far they need to travel? Like you count the track they're passing by. So 15 to 4 is 15 minus 4. So it's 11. So dia kena lalu 11 track in order to get to track number 4. So lepas nombor 4, the next requested track is adalah 40. So 4 to 40, how far is the distance? Berapa distance dia? So 40 minus 4, 36 tracks. So they need to pass 36 tracks. Okay. And then sama juga lah the method. And then the total of travel time adalah 135 millisecond. We assume to move from one track to another track is 1 millisecond. Okay. To move from one track and to another is 1 millisecond. So 135 millisecond in order for this job to be done. Okay. Following this algorithm. So what is the average number of track travel? Adalah 135 divided by the requested list ni lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 135 divided by 6, you will get 32.5 millisecond. Okay, the average number of track travel. Okay, so this is following the FCFS. Usually kalau dalam exam bertulis, you akan kena lukis ni. Tapi sebab Dalam online tak ada, but you might ask this type of question. But how you want to solve this type of question is by doing this lah. So you do the sum calculation. Okay, faham ah? Kalau dalam bertulis selalunya kena lukis. Tapi kalau dalam online exam, because it's MCQ, but still you need to do this. Okay, in order for you to get the answer. You maybe might not need to lukis lah, just do this part. Simple maths. Okay, this is the time travel. Based on this algorithm, you can see the arm is busy moving right, left, right, left. So let's compare with another algorithm. So the same requested file, this is the original request file, 15, 4, 40, 11, 35, and 7. This is the original request list. Okay, and now shortest seek time first. Familiar kan dengan shortest? Hari tu kita belajar shortest job next, shortest remaining time. So now it's the shortest seek time first. Remember what is the seek time? But tu saya kata you have to understand the definition of the seek time. Seek time is to position the head from one track to another. Position from one track to another, ataupun to travel from one track to another. Itu adalah seek time. So sekarang ni, based on this algorithm, they will look for the less travel track. Dia macam, this one is similar to shortest job next or shortest remaining time. Cuma beza shortest job next and shortest remaining time is preemption and non-preemption, right? So for the shortest seek time, okay, you akan tengok apa yang the less travel track. So the same requested file, the same requested list of the track yang ini sama. So what this, if you're using this algorithm, first you can see the movement of the arm. Compared to first come first serve kanan kiri and can see the differences here. It moves to the right, to the left, then to the right. So are they better than FCFS? How can you know? You do the calculation. As you can see here, after you calculate the tracks travel, you can see the average number of track travel only 7.83 millisecond as compared to first come first serve. And the total travel time is 135. For shortest seek time is only 47 millisecond. It's almost the time is reduced more, I think almost triple. So it's better for this scenario. Okay, how to implement this algorithm adalah request with track closest to one being served to minimize overall seek time. So how? So this is the same request list. Okay, the initial starting point is 15. The initial starting track is at 15. So we start at 15. So what does this algorithm do is please bear in mind, this is the request 15, 4, 40, 11, 35, 7. Okay? So kalau dia guna shortest time ni, dia akan tengok yang mana dekat dengan dia. So 15. So it will scan. Which one has the less travel time? Berapa banyak track yang paling dekat dengan dia. So dia akan scan from the list. 15 is the closest. Okay, dia kata 14 is the closest. So it will go to track number 14. Of course, they do the simple math. If you do the algorithm, you akan tolakkan A compared by B, B compared by C, and you akan buat looping and see which one is the shortest one. So after they scan to all the list, 14 is the shortest seek time, travel time to the track, to go to the next track adalah 14. From here, dia akan tengok lagi. From the list, which one is the shortest seek time? Seek time is to travel from one track to another track, to position the head of the read and write head. Okay, to position that head. So dia akan tengok from this list, dia akan tengok 14, 11, 14, 11, 7, 4, and 35. Which one is the nearest? The less travel track is 11. So dia pergi 11. After 11, then it will compare with the remaining track. So 11 to which track is the shortest? So dia akan compare 11 to 7 or to 4 or to 35. Now after they do some maths, to 7 is the less travel track. So it go to 7 first. And after that 4. Pas 4 dia akan compare with 35 and 40. Obviously track 35 is closer to track 4 compared to track 40. So it travel to track 35 first. Then the last one is for 40. You can see the you can see the apa kita panggil movement. Is less busy than FCFS. Boleh faham tak guys? Can you guys understand this part? Boleh. Rebecca seorang belajar ni. Boleh Daniel, good. So it's the best on the algorithm. Syafiqah, terima kasih. So it's best on the algorithm. First come, first serve is the easiest to understand. Jadi is the list, you must follow. You must follow the list. Okay? So, tapi you punya arm busy lah. You bayangkan tangan, this is your arm. This is the arm, this is the head of the surface. Ataupun tangan awak. Kanan kiri, kanan kiri. It's not efficient. Imagine there's a long request list, kan? But in this scenario, again, shorter seek time is better at this stage, okay, compared to FCFS. Dia akan scan dulu yang mana the shortest travel track. Okay, remember seek time is the time to position the read on the right head to the another track, from one track to another track. Okay, the last one algorithm is a scan. Okay, scan loop. Arm does not go to either edge. Ni sama, the request list is the same as this one. 15 for this, the original request list lah, 15, 4, 40. This one they already arranged, okay. So here, okay, you can see the movement also different than the previous two. Okay, apa maksud dia? Arm does not go to either edge. Kanan ke kiri, dia tak pergi unless request exists. Eliminate indefinite postponement. Dia tak nak banyak. Kalau you nampak sini, dia lama sangat tunggu. The 40 tu, lama tunggu. Baru dia kena serve. You can see the movement here. So, here now, this algorithm, apa maksud dia? The loop algorithm makes the arm move systematically from the first requested track at the one edge of the disk to the last requested track at the other edge. In this example, all track requests are on wait queue. So, ini adalah loop algorithm. So, mari kita tengok. So, from here, it start at 15. Okay? Start at 15. So, dia akan scan lah. Okay, loop does not go to either edge. Kalau dekat yang the previous one, dia akan less travelkan the shortest seek time. Okay? Dekat sini tak. Dia akan tengok. Dia nak serve yang jauh ni dulu. Supaya dia tak nak ada indefinite postponement. And if you compare to here, 35 and 40, they are waited a bit longer to be served, right? Sebab dia layan yang ni dulu. Kiri dulu baru kanan. So, dia tunggu lama. Kan, dia tunggu giliran dia lama. Walaupun dia shortest travel, tapi 35 and 40, they will be waited, dia ada postponement. Dia lama. So, what this algorithm try to do is, ada dua sahaja job yang tunggu ni, dia akan serve this first. It will serve this first. Dia akan scan lah. All this information is provided. Okay, dia akan tengok, 35 and 40, only these two job on the right side. Okay, on the position on the right side. So, they will travel to 35 and 40 first. And after that, they will go travel to this 1, 2, 3, 4 requested file or the requested track. So, dia tak ada favoritism lah sebenarnya. So, even though they're doing this, if you compare the total travel time dengan average tracks travel, this one is still better in terms of the number of tracks travel dengan average time. But this one, when they try to, even though there's a slightly longer time for it to travel, but the aim of this algorithm is to eliminate indefinite postponement. Okay, faham tak? Itu beza dia. Tapi dia punya dari segi quality, how long they need to travel is slightly longer than can. Tapi ini dia punya goal is to eliminate indefinite postponement. Okay, you can see here. So how you, for this example on the slide, because they give on this 6 request file, easily we can tell, scan shortest seek time first is the good solution, but for this scenario. But if we give you like maybe like 100 lists, 200 request lists, then you have to do the code to see which one is better. Macam yang awak buat sekarang ni lah, yang apa project tu kan. untuk this scenario, I have to repeat for this scenario, shortest seek time first is the best. Okay, for this seek request file, right? Sebab nanti if you go to another references, maybe you find another example, you might see, and in another case, maybe FCFS or maybe scan look is the better solution. It depends on how many request file. Alright, faham tak? Untuk pen and pencil ni, we can easily see shortest seek time is the best. Okay, faham guys so far? Yang tiga ni, boleh ha? Veronica boleh? Yang ini tak ada di-discuss dalam group presentation. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, now the second one I want to discuss with you guys adalah the search strategies. Okay, the search strategies. Okay, hari tu ada soalan tanya, what is the difference between seek and search? Okay, seek and search is, kalau by definition, in general definition, macam tak ada beza kan. But actually, as I mentioned earlier, seek is to position the head from one track to another track. Ataupun you nak travel from one track to another track yang bulat macam tu kan. And then search strategies is to rotate from one sector to another sector. Okay, from one sector to another sector. Maybe saya boleh, okay, I cannot directly, for example, maybe saya boleh lukis ini, easier to understand. Okay, contohnya, okay, this is the track kan. Bayangkan donut. Macam donut ada satu. Kalau donut, how many track? Ada only one track. So this is your stadium. So this is a track. So, okay, the numbering doesn't matter. It depends on the example. For example, I put this the inner track. Ini kosong lubang kat tengah ni 1, 2, 3. So this track number 1, this track number 2, and this track number 3. Okay, it can start with track 0, 1, and 2. Okay, doesn't matter. And in each of the track, there's a sector. The sector. Okay, the sector. Okay, it's the sector. Okay, this is the circle visualization. So this called sector. Dalam sector ada record lah. Okay, so for time to rotate. The rotate adalah in clockwise. Usually, unless you do the rewind, is anti-clockwise. So this is to rotate kan. You rotate the cylinder. Okay, the cylinder, dalam cylinder ada disc lah, ada pattern. So you rotate this, okay. The time to rotate from one sector, okay, assume I call this sector 0, this sector 1. Okay, to rotate from 0 to 1. Ini kita panggil search time. Time to rotate. Let's say I want to rotate from sector 0 to sector 2. Yes, from sector 0 to sector 2. How long is, what is the search time? Itu maksudnya search time adalah to search the position from sector 0 to sector 2. Okay, what is the search time? Okay, let's assume you nak senang visualize. Kalau you tak suka bulat, you buat macam ni. Kita imagine, kita buka ni. So let's imagine this is sector 0, guys. Okay, ini sector 0, and this is track 0. Let's imagine this is track 0. This is sector. Dalam ni ada 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's imagine there are 4 sector, and this is the track 0. Okay, bawah dia maybe track 1. Okay, this is too easy for you to visualize. Okay, daripada sini lah, daripada bulat-bulat ni. Kedua, 1, 0. Okay, this is track 0, track 1, and so on. Until track N. So, let's say dia kata time to travel from one track, time to travel from one sector to another sector. Ini kita panggil search time adalah 1 millisecond, for example. Or the question can say time to rotate from one sector. Dia kata time to rotate from sector 0 to sector 4 is 5 milliseconds. So then you do the math. How long is needed to travel from one sector to another sector? For 5 milliseconds, you kira lah berapa sektor yang ada? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 milliseconds. So literally 1 millisecond. Okay? Boleh ha? So from here, let's say the position is at sector 0. Katakan now is a sector, they rotate kan. Now they read the information from, they read data from, maybe they read or they write, doesn't matter. They read or they write, doesn't matter. So the head's now at sector 0. So dia dah baca satu block of this sector, okay. Now let's say they say, the question asks, how long it takes to rotate, what is the search time? What is the search time from 0, track 0, di track 0. Okay, the initial position now is 0, 0 to 2. Okay, sekarang you tengah dekat sini, kosong, kosong. Track, D is sector, okay. Track 0, sector 0. The question say, ask, what is the search time? Okay, from this initial position, track 0, sector 0 to track 0, sector 2. Dia kata berapa? So, sekarang berapa, what is the search time? Siapa boleh teka? Sekarang dia dekat sini. Dia dah baca satu ni, dah satu rotate, dah jalan. Dia the needle is bergerak macam tu. So, how long it takes, guys? What is the search time? From track 0, sector 0 to, Rebecca kata 3. Lagi? Siapa nak guess lah? Rebecca dah teka, bagus Rebecca. Who else want to guess? This explanation will help you to understand the next slides easily. Siapa lagi nak explain ni? Tak ada orang ke? Venorika mana? Daniel? Shrika? I think 3 also. Why do you think 3? Okay, now guys. Okay. Sedang mengebereng. Senang je. Okay, now you are at the sector, track 0, sector 0. Okay, time to rotate. Okay, time to rotate from sector 0 to 4 adalah 5 milliseconds. So you do the simple math 1 millisecond lah for one sector to another sector. Okay, so now the question asks, okay, what is the search time if from track 0, sector 0 to track 0 2? So there's no seek time because you're on the same track. Okay, so what is the search time? Sekarang you dah sini. You imagine the needle dah baca satu block of 0, 0. So time to travel to here, ke sini, only 1 millisecond. Sebab dia ke sini je. Dia dah sampai dekat sector number 2. Faham? Dia pusing satu minit. Because from one sector to another sector, kita bayangkan dua sektor, dia kata search time adalah from one sector to one sector. Ni sektor satu kan? Kalau di sebelah ni, what is the search time? Zero. Tak ada. Sebelah dia tak ada. Macam, jumpa dah. Macam tu. Tapi kalau dia selang satu macam ni, dia need to travel one sector. Dia need to rotate. Dia kena position satu sektor. So, it's 1 millisecond. Okay, faham tak? Dia kena melangkah satu. So, 1 millisecond. So, dia rotate lah. You jangan imagine needle tu melompat lah. Tak. Dia zoom satu. Do you guys get it? Daniel faham. Good. Dia macam ni. Dia asal dia bulat, is in circle. But ini kita buka lah. Kita buka dia bulat tempat, buka dia ni. So, easy to. So, ini track. Okay. Kita cakap pasal search time. And now we are talking about search time. What are the definitions of the search time? The position from one sector to another sector. The same with the rotational delay. Rotational time sama. Dia nak rotate. Dia kan pusing macam ni. So, dia rotate satu. So, this is sector 0, sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. So, it can be track 0, track 1 doesn't matter. So, for example, here track 0. So, now we are dekat sector 0. So, my question is, okay, what is the search time from sector 0 to sector 3? So, berapa jawapan dia? Saya nak pergi dekat sector 3. What is the answer? Yeah. Okay, what is the answer, Daniel? Daniel kata faham tadi kan? Okay, what is the answer? From sector 0 to sector 3. We assume, macam dua, bukannya macam good Patrick 2. Tapi ada tanda soal tu dia tak confident. So 2. So how do you know 2? How do you know 2? 1 Sampai dah dekat 3. Time to travel from one sector to another sector. But actually, time to travel to definition dia salah. Rotate. I just easier for you guys to understand. So 1, 2. So okay, now now we are at sector 3. Okay. Now I want to rotate to sector 4. So to sector 4, what is the search time? 3 to 4, what is the search time? Pandai Patrick. Zero. Tak ada pun jumpa. Dia tak payah rotate pun. Dia ada dekat sini dah. The arm is already here. So the head is already di tepi dia. So there's no shift time. Sebab dia tak ada sektor dia lalu. Faham tak? If you understand this part, the next 2 slide will be easier. Asal dia macam ni. So first thing first, you must are able to differentiate track and sector. Okay, track and sector. Track yang circular punya line tu, and each of the track there's a divide into a number of sector. Okay, and then after that you must differentiate seek time and search time. Seek time is time to travel from one track to another track. Satu track ke another track, we call it seek time. Okay, seek time. Okay, seek time. Okay, time to position the read and right head to one track to another track. Tracks travel to seek time. Search time adalah time to rotate from one sector to another sector. Okay, boleh ha? Ada 2 benda ni. Okay, now let's go back to our slide, because there's a good example from the slide. The slide tadi. Okay, now go back to the slide. Okay, kita akan buat ni, search strategies. Dekat sini semua ada definition dia. Kena baca. Apa search, what is seek time, what is search time, all in this lecture note. Okay. Okay, rotational ordering, optimal search, this lah. Ini yang saya nak discuss today. Sama je tadi. Okay, now this is a head. This is for movable head. Okay, this is for movable head. Sebab dia kena bergerakkan from one position to another position. So, okay, this is the request list. You can see here, guys, this is slide number 45 if you want to take notes. Okay, dekat contoh ni, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. All together is 5 tracks. So the number is with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in each of the tracks, there are 5 sectors. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 5 sectors. The numbering is start with 0. So here, the first on the left is a track number. Track 0, sector 0. Track 0, sector 1. Track 0, sector 2. Track 0, sector 3. Track 0, sector 4. So you can know all these tracks because the same numbering kan. The difference is the track number. Alright? Faham? So this is the request list. Okay, ni request list dia. Track 0, 1, the next list adalah 1, 4, 1, 3 and so on. Okay, keep in mind it is a request list. So the head will be like moving. Sekejap track 0, sekejap track 1, sekejap track 2 and so on. Depend on the list, based on the list. Okay. Okay, this mobile head cylinder text. Okay, this is a very important information. Okay, this mobile head cylinder takes 5 milliseconds to move the read and right head from one track to the next. So this is the seek time here. So untuk move daripada one track to another track is 5 milliseconds. Kepada track 0 to track 1 is 5 milliseconds. To the next track is 5 milliseconds. Time to move from one track to another track is 5 milliseconds. And what is the next information? The read and write head is initially positioned at track 0, sector 0. So now the head, saya panggil head saja, the head is at this position, 0, 0. Okay, this is the initial position for this scenario. Okay, 0, 0. Okay, ni dia tengah bergerak ni. Initially this yang anak panah ni dekat sini. Okay, 0, 0. Okay, what else? Takes 5 milliseconds to rotate the cylinder from one sector to sector 4, from sector 0 to sector 4. Then this giving you information of the search time. From sector to sector is the search time. To rotate, dia nak rotate kan daripada 0 ke 4 is 5 millisecond. If you do the maths, how many sector? 5. 5 bahagi 5 give you 1 millisecond for one sector. Faham? Boleh faham? Ini sama je explanation dekat WordSpad tadi. Boleh faham okay, bagus Patrick. So now apa lagi another information? For 1 millisecond to transfer one sector from the cylinder to main memory. Okay, data transfer time 1 millisecond. Masa untuk transferkan the data, dekat sini dia bagi 1 millisecond. Dia tak ada bagi information on one data per one, tak ada. So data transfer time is 1 millisecond. Okay, if you understand this information, it will be easy. Okay. Mari kita tengok. Yang ini request list 01141320. Okay, now bring on. Okay, boleh nampak slide number 46. Okay, now saya besarkan sikit berapa tu. Okay, now. Ini tak boleh. Oh, okay. No, next one. Okay. Okay, now this is the request list. Okay, you can refer to sama ni. Okay, ini guys. Okay. Track and sector. So this is the request list. 01 original request list. So track 0. Okay, track 0, sector 1. Okay, the seek time is 0. Kenapa seek time dia 0, guys? Why the seek time is 0? Siapa tahu? Saya akan expand 1 dan 2 je because the rest will be like the same thing. Kenapa seek time dia 0? Halo? Mana orang? Patrick? Next to, sebab dia sebelah kat ni confirm betul. Sebab dia on the same track. 0 to 1. Initial position, remember the initial position is 0, 0 kan? Kita tadi initial position is 0, 0. Refer to slide 45. You can open your slide while listen to my explanation. So the position, the initial position is at track 0, sector 0. Remember, seek time is travel from one track to another track. You're not traveling to a new track kan? You're still on the same track. So 0, tak adalah, kosong lah. Okay, now search time. Ya, sekarang search time. Kenapa dia ni kosong, 1, search time 1 kat sini. So search time is 1, 0, 0. Initial kat mana ni? Sini. Mana ni? Ini lain. Search time dia 1, 0, 0. Kenapa tak sama dengan saya pilih? Sepatutnya. Okay guys, I'll give you 5 minutes to analyze this table. I give you maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes too long. Okay, you analyze the table number 46, then later on we discuss. Saya kena check something dulu. Okay, you tengok. I give you 4 minutes, 4 or 6 minutes lah, 4 or 5 minutes, alright? Ini 1. Request more cylinder head. Sector 0. So, multiple strike 0 to 1. Betul 0 to 6 time, okay. One to 4. And then 1 to 3. 1 to 4, 2 seconds. 4 to second. Yeah. One, two, three. Now, okay, dah, guys. Okay, now, understand. Okay, very quick. Last 11:30 hari ni. Okay, now, can see here, because it says it's the initial position. Dia bagi initial position. Okay, if you read the previous slide, if you go and read the previous slide, the information said there, the initial position is track 0, sector 0. Maksudnya dia position or they're not reading anything from sector 0. So the pin or the head is at the beginning of the sector 0. Kan di sector, you imagine, because it's a position sahaja. It's not like they go and read or write something from track 0. Okay? Kan? Because dia kata that's the information, important information. They said initial position adalah dekat track 0, sector 0. So meaning there's no read or write activity happening. Just position the head. Faham tak? The trick tadi kata, oh faham tak? Faham tak? Daniel lah, bagus. So dia tak buat apa-apa pun, dia just position the head. Okay? So now, dia kata 6 time is 0 because they're on the same track. You remember 6 time is time to position the head on the track. So you're not going to the next track or the different track. So the 6 time is 0 and the search time is 1. Because kalau yang mula-mula saya share tadi, ni, nampak tak word document guys? Can you see my word document? Oh, tak, alamak. Stop dulu lah. Okay, let's share my word document first. Yang kita contoh-contoh tadi. Okay, yang ini ya. So now, okay. Sebab itulah the information dia kena baca. So, salah. Okay, tadi dia kata the initial position is track 0, sector 0. So this just position the head. There's no read and write activities. So the request want you to go to track 0, sector 1, right? So, kalau yang the first explanation tadi saya kata 0, because there's a read and write activities. For the initial position, dia kata dekat sini. So, to go here, for head, untuk pergi ke 1 adalah 1 millisecond, because there's no read and write activity like this one. Okay, so it's 1 millisecond, tak ada apa-apa kat sini, dia position dekat sini je. The initial position of the head. Okay, there's no read and write activities. So when they rotate when they move the head, so it needs 1 millisecond. Faham? Faham guys? Boleh ha? Daniel and tu tadi ada respon, faham? Okay, good Patrick. Okay, now go back to the slide. Back to the slide. Jadi start sampai sini. Okay, now. Okay, so 0 and 1. Okay, data transfer is straightforward because it said the transfer time is from cylinder to the memory is 1 millisecond, regardless of how many data, because this is the information given to you. Okay, given to you. So the total time will be 2. Okay, the next one, dia kata 1 to 4. This is the next request. They said, oh, you need to go to track number 1, sector number 4. So from track 0 to track number 1. So what is the information given to you? It says time to travel from one track to another track is 5 millisecond. Sebab daripada track kosong ke track 1. So 5 millisecond. Regardless. So this is just next track. Sebelah dia track dia. Okay, 5 millisecond. And then the search time. Okay, the search time here is 2. Okay. Sebab you are moving from 1, 4. So the search time is 2. Let's do this tadi. Okay. Sekarang tadi you dekat kosong. So 1 and 2. You get 2. Tadi you dekat sectors 1. Remember tadi previously you at sector 1 tapi dekat different track. And bila you move to a new track is 1, 4, but the previous track tadi you dekat track 1. So you start from track 1 to 4. So you kira lah 2 and 3. You dah dekat 1, so you need to lompat berapa track sector? 2 kan? 2 and 3, so you get search time 2. Faham tak guys? You understand? Ni yang respon yang sama, yang lain saya tak tahu lah. Okay, let me explain again. Jangan dekat chat, chat saya boleh nampak lah kalau you keluar kat tengah, atas ni kalau bawah saya tak nampak. Okay, let's see here. So tadi kan the previous request adalah 0, 1, right? The next request is 1. What can someone say it again? 1, because I don't want to open the file. 1, 4, right? So this is track, this is sector. So imagine macam ni. Kita imagine macam ni lah, senang. This track 0, this track 1. Okay? 01. So now you dekat ni sector 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is one track. So you are you are here, and now they said the next request adalah 1 to 4. So you move to the new track. So this require 5 millisecond. This is the seek time. Time to move the head from one track to another track is 5 millisecond. So previously it at sector 1. The next request is sector 4 here. Ni is the next request. So time travel from sector 1. Dia kan ada read and write activities, so you assume dia dekat ujung ni. Okay. Kan? So they start from sector 1 to 4. So, ingat tak, for time to move from one sector to another sector to rotate ada 1 millisecond. So, 1, 2, 1. So, 2 millisecond. Okay, boleh faham? Faham. Sebab previously dia dekat sector 1 tapi dekat different track. Sekarang dia kata I want to go to track number 1. So the seek time, travel time untuk pergi satu track ke satu track ada 5 millisecond. Tapi sekarang you kena pergi sector number 4. What is your previous position in the sector punya tempat adalah 1. Imagine lah dia dekat 1 dekat track ke satu. So 1, 2. Aduh. You tak position. But on the different track. Sebab track dia macam ni. Dia sebenarnya macam ni. Dia macam ni. Dia bahagia macam ni. Katakan dia is track 1, track 2. Katakan di previous sector dia dekat kosong ni. You nak ke sini. Ke sini je lah. Macam tu lah. Aku tak berhenti nak explain. Sebab tu dia 2 millisecond. So previous position, the last position of the sector adalah dekat 1. Boleh tak? Okay. Go back to the Okay, now the next request said one track 1 go to sector number 3. Dia kata, so it's on the same track. So there's no sick time. Sebab you tak payah move the position, the read and write head on the new track. Sebab you still on the same track. Track yang sama, so there's no sick time. So kosong. So tapi dia kata dia nak pergi ke, kenapa dia total up ni? Sorry. So dia nak pergi ke track number 3. So track number 3, remember, they rotate in clockwise, in one direction. Bukan dia kejap kanan sekejap kiri tak. Dia rotate in one direction. 3 and 4, because now you're at track number 4. You cannot like simply jump back to the previous position. You have to rotate. Remember, it's rotation. It's rotation. The rotation delay. Dengar percakapan. Search time is the rotation delay. Okay? So would be 3. So, 1, 2. Okay, faham tak? So here, 1 and 3, the previous position of the sector is at sector number 4. The next request adalah track 1, sector 3. So you're on the same track, so there's no, tak ada lah, you dalam same track, kenapa tak ada search time? But now, why the search time is 3? Because they rotate in the one direction. 4, even though 3 and 4 is adjacent, you cannot like, tiba-tiba you change the direction of the rotation. No. It will rotate one rotation. When they rotate one rotation, so the search time is 3. Can you share the... Kalau saya masih tak boleh nak conteng dekat PDF tu. Okay. Imagine macam ni ya. So, 1, 2. So, this is the sector 4. Track 1, sector 4. The next request adalah track 1, sector 3. Even though it's adjacent, remember they rotate in one direction. Forward and right direction. Okay, satu direction clockwise. So it's rotate. So they need to rotate one direction. So for it to rotate, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. So you at sector 4. So how long it to get to? What is the search time to get to sector 3? Adalah 1, 2, 3 seconds. Because it's rotate in one direction. Kan you terus tiba-tiba because it's rotate in one direction. Understand guys? Boleh faham? Yes, okay, good. Senang je. Okay. Okay, the rest will be the same. Sama je. Okay, now, okay, sekarang you dah, okay, the next request list adalah 2, 0. So now, you in track 1, you move to another track, which is track number 2. So, as the information given said, from one track to another track is require 5 milliseconds. Time to move the head, so 5 milliseconds. Okay, lepas tu, 1. Dia kata search time to 0 adalah 1. So what is the previous position of sector adalah 3. Lepas 3, 4 kan? Lepas 4, 0 kan? So, dia move. So, ada 1 sahaja. Because dia nak dekat kosong. Sector 0. After 3, 4, then 0 balik. Faham? So, 1 millisecond only. Yang lepas tu repeat sama je. Sama je. Boleh faham tak semua? Tahulah semua boleh faham tak? Yang respon tu saya rasa boleh faham. So, but you need to, after this, kenapa 6 time 5? Sebab kan awak daripada track 1 ke track 2. Because it's a 6 time, it's time to move the head from one track to another track. Previously, you at the track 1. Now we're going to the new track, which is track number 2. So, 5 milliseconds. Where we found the 5 millisecond information, you go back to the next slide. There's information given here. Boleh, Rebecca? So what I need you to do after this class, you baca balik, you kena buat lagi sekali. Otherwise, you will not remember and understand. It's easy, but easy to forget and easy to make mistake. Okay? Especially yang kira sector from one sector to another sector tadi tu. So now, we already moved to a new track. So 0. So 1 search type. Because the previous location adalah dekat sector 3. So 3, 4, 0. So only one sector you need to pass through. So 1 millisecond. So now from the next request adalah track 2, 3. So it's on the same track. It's on the same track. So there's no seek time because on the same track. The head doesn't have to move from one new track. Okay, 5 milliseconds. 0, sorry. And then dia kata dia nak sector number 3. So previously is at the head at sector 0 kan? So 0 to 3, 4 milliseconds. So they need to, how many sector they need to pass through? 2, 2. So 2 milliseconds. Okay, so kosong dah habis read and write activity. So you imagine you dekat hujung kosong. So you kena lalu 1, sector 1, sector 2, then you reached at sector 3. So 2 milliseconds. Okay, so and then next request said 2 and 4. So you still on the same track. So there's no seek time. The head doesn't have to move. So dia kata track yang sama. Tapi new sector. Dia kata dia nak sector 4. So what is the previous position of the sector adalah 3. So it's next to it. So there's no search time. There's no search time. Also, because you tak ada lalu passing any new sector. So 3 to 4. Sebab the pin, you bayangkan the pin tu dah habis baca the one sector. So dia dekat ujung, the next one, sebelah dia tak payah mencari pun. Dia terpetik lah. So 0. And then next request adalah 3 and 2. So track number 3. So you need to position the head to the new track. So it's require 5 milliseconds. 5. Okay, now dia kata, but you need to do the read or write activity at sector number 2. So here I said the search time is 2. How you get 2? The previous position, the previous location of the sector adalah 4. So how many sector you need to pass through adalah 0, 1. Sector 0, sector 1, then you get 2 milliseconds in order to reach sector 2. Sebab dia kena lalu sector 0 dan sector 1. So 1 millisecond, 1 millisecond, so 2 milliseconds. Then transfer lah. Okay, then the last request adalah track 3, sector 0. Okay? Track 3, sector 0. Remember, it's rotate in one direction. So on the same track, there's no seek time. Because the head, you don't have to move to the new track. So the search time is 2. So the previous location of the sector adalah 2. So you kena lalu sector 3, sector 4. Then you go back to sector 0. So giving you 2 milliseconds. Okay. So then you do the totals, the maths, and this time you get the total time to fulfill the request adalah 36 milliseconds. Boleh faham? So you kena faham what is seek time, what is search time, what is track, what is sector. So the next slide is the same thing, cuma different request. The explanation is the same, cuma tengok 0113 is different. The request list is different, okay? Based on the rotational order punya strategies. So you can see the different answer here. But how to calculate is the same thing. It's based on this request. Okay, I'm not going to repeat this because we don't have time. Tapi sama sahaja. Right? Macam ni lah. Okay, it's the same thing. Sama saja. You buka kan dia jadi macam ni. Okay. Itu from that slide. Actually, saya nak, actually I wanted to do the tutorial tapi tak sempat. I need to go very quickly to lecture 10 punya contoh. Tapi maybe on next week. Kita tengok timing ya. Maybe kita boleh buat kelas on next Tuesday. Cuti yang saya cuti ya. Saya tak buat kelas. Bukan kelas lah, it's a tutorial session. For those who want to come, we can discuss the tutorial question, especially from number 8. It's easy. I can post the answer, but maybe some of you need the explanation. Sekejap We go very quickly to lecture 10 punya tutorial. Saya rasa yang kena explain sikit. Tapi the theoretical part, please read on your own. I am so sorry I didn't have time to discuss with you guys, but I do believe you guys can understand it very well. Sebab dia theoretical and some of the explanation, some of the information or explanation can be found during the presentation, group presentation sebenarnya sama saja. For lecture 9 and 10. So let me explain this diagram yang saya rasa penting. Just hello. Sekejap kita share ni dulu, tak dapat buka pula ni. Where is it? I have to close this one. Sekejap give me time, give me 1 minute to find the file. Okay, this is tutorial 9 and 10 is from the lecture 10, which is I think this need to be explained to you guys. Yang lain tu okay saja. Okay, I will upload a tutorial question. Actually, it's been uploaded, the one that you need to do on yourself today. So we upload again the tutorial question 8, device management and file management later on. Especially the device management, I want you to do it first, then later we can discuss. I will find time, maybe 30 minutes is enough for us to discuss. For those who wanted to come to the class, boleh datang lah. So maybe some of you might not need the explanation, already understand. Okay, ini adalah index storage. Is to file management. Okay, how to manage the file. Okay, soalan ni agak famous dalam peperiksaan. During the exam, this question is quite famous. That's why I want to explain. So, dia nampak macam susah tapi sebenarnya tak. Okay, this is the index storage. How they index the file inside the storage. So, you can see here. Okay, contoh file 1, file 2, and how they indexing. So that they know where is the location of the file. It's the management. So there are system indexing. Okay. So from here, you know, it's a file number 1, record number 1. Okay, file number 1, record number 2. Okay, request number 2, file number 1, 3, file number 1, 4. So here, you akan nampak kat sini. Satu address. Where is the address? Okay. File 1, the address is 2. So this is the address. So indexing, macam index tahu kan? Books index. Same thing. Macam directory. So you know, oh, dalam management ni dia kat sini and so on. Okay. So this is, because this is MCQ type of question, you might not need to do this drawing. So ada soalan ni famous lah, you need to draw. You need to do the index link directory. Kan? File 1 to 1, address number 2. So it's here. So this is the metric. 1 to 4 by 4. This is a metric 4 by 4. So file 1 and 1, address number 2 is located here. And file 2, address 3. So this is the link directory. Nampak tak dekat file ni? File 1 and 2. So the link directory goes to this directory. Macam tu lah. This is how they visualize. Faham? Ni senang je. Just the link directory. Okay, based on this information, this is the file, this is the address. The address is the inside the metric column ni. So dia dekat 2 lah, dekat 3. You tengok ni link dia. Here, for file number 2. It's the same thing. So this with one level of index. Okay, satu level index. Nampak satu je. Ini je. Ini hanya index. Okay, the point, this is the index. File 1, index block number 12. Okay, file 1, index block, which block? Block number 12. So this is the location of the file 2/8/2018 to file 1 8 file 1 20 file 1 18 file 1. Ni we panggil one level of index. Okay, so they store all this information of the address of file 1 dekat index block number 12. So bila you go to index number 12, you can see, oh, file 1 rupanya dekat address 2, 8, 20 dan 18 based on this index. What about file 2? Okay, file 2 go to index block number 4. When you go to index block number 4, oh, here is the file, the address for file 2, 3, 6, and 11. File 2, 3, and location 6 is file 2 and 11. They show you the index, block index. Faham tak guys? Sebab nanti kalau you terus tengok tutorial, maybe you tak faham kalau tak ada explanation. Do you guys get it? It's how we do the index. Tengah mengebrand. Lama awak mengebrand ni. It's just to indexing saja. Indexing saja. Just as simple as that. Sebab kalau you terus buka tutorial, maybe you, apa benda ni tak faham kan? This is the index. You look at this table. File 1, index. Kalau you nampak index block, maksudnya this index block, block number 12 will contain the information of the address of file 1. So this single directory. So tak banyaklah nak panahnya, tak macam ni. Ini kan macam. So dia buat index block. So dia hold the information dalam satu block. This the comparison. But it's the same thing. Okay, pergi number 7. Ini selalu dalam exam sebenarnya. You selamat lah. Maybe there's a question like this. There will be like question in your exam, final exam. So if you understand how to do it, then it will be easier. Okay. Nanti later on, I will by this week I will upload all these answers. Okay. Nanti I just tengok balik. So example for file 1, the extent can be allocated an any number of extent. Soalan dia, the following directories starting address, ending address, and the number of extent user given the size of file is 1. File 2 is, and the physical size of extent is this bytes. Calculate the number of required extent or. So you need to figure out the number of extent. The number of extent file number 1, 768 bahagi 256. 3. So you need 3 address. Simple math. Number of extent file number 2, 1356. Sebab ni how you get 1356 information dekat sini. Okay. File 2 is 1356. Okay. Satu ni dia boleh simpan 256 sahaja. So divide lah. So you need 3. So file 2 you need 6. So you letaklah kat mana-mana. Ni dia address dia. So dia kata file number 1 start at 7. And dekat 29. So 7 file number 1. Berapa extend tadi? 3 kan? 1, 2, 3. With linking taking place at the storage. Satu dekat 7, start dekat 7, end dekat 29. So it can be anywhere. Can be anywhere between 7 dan 29. Tak boleh sama tempat guys. What about file number 2 start at 5, and end dekat 15. File 2, the number of extent. Ni 5, 9. Dia start dekat 5, 9. Aduh. 5, 9. File number 2. Lepas tu number 9 ni. Lepas next dia 12. Sini 17. 17. Mana 17 here. Next one is 3. That's how you read that. This is the current position. The next on the right is the next position. The next address, sorry. So 17. Yeah, the next is 3. Di antara depan ni. So 6. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kenapa 6? Bahagikan ni. Okay, kalau file number 1, sebab dia kata start address, start dia kena 7, end dia kena 29. Sama juga start kena 5, and so you must start at number 5, but must end at number 15. So it can be anyway, tapi kena follow this information. Okay, for example, start at 7, dia start dekat 7. But the last file to be stored mesti dekat number 29. So, dia nampak dash tu, maksudnya tak ada lagi lah. Kalau 15, dash tak ada. That the last ada end. Faham tak guys? Dia senang ni. You understand? Saya cakap seorang ni. Boleh? Yang ni? Mana dia ni? Ada balik dah. It's confused Rebecca. Dia macam ni. Okay, now you are given two file. Okay, you are given two file. File 1 and file 2. Okay, you are given these two files. Okay, kita nak buat indexing saja. You nak susun kat mana? File management kan? You are given two file. File 1 with this size. Okay, file 1 dengan size ini ya. Okay, with this size. Okay, and file number 2 with this size. Okay, this size here. Okay, dia bagi you ini. Okay, now you have two files. Okay, now what is the next information? It's important for us to read the information. Okay, the physical size of each extent. Maksudnya satu blok ni, satu extent. Dipanggil ni satu extent lah, satu 1, 2, 3. You have ada 6 by 5 metric column. Okay, you have 6 by 5 metric columns. Okay, satu extent ni dia akan hold this size 256 bytes. Okay. Okay. Satu ni dia boleh 256. So dia soalan dia apa? Calculate the number of required extent to store. You nak store this file tapi you cannot store the whole file in one extent. In satu blok ni tak boleh sebab it's not fit. So you need to manage. You have to divide them into smaller parts. Okay. Then how many parts it needed? Macam tu. So dia kata satu ni dia boleh fit 256 bytes. So you kena susun, you kena manage. Okay. How many required extent to store file 1 and 2? Then draw a diagram. Okay. At this point, faham tak guys? Before we go to this gambar aja. Do you understand the information? Okay, so far okay, good. And the next information they given to you, then dia kata with row by column 5 kali 6. So you lukis lah kolom 5 kali 6. So bayangkan dalam ni tak ada information lagi. Cuma ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So bayangkan ni kosong lagi ya. So what the next information kata, okay. This is the information in file 1 dan 2. It must start with 7. At 7. Dia kena start dekat 7 dekat sini. Dia must start at 7. This row. It must start at 7 and end at 29. So 7 dan 29. In between it doesn't matter. You letak dalam mana-mana. Doesn't matter. As long as there's no file inside there. Okay? As long as the extent, the block is available. So but start at 7 and finish at the address of 29. In between, tak kisah, suka hati. As long as the block yang ini, this saya panggil block lah, is available, kosong, vacant. Okay? Set goes to file number 2. Start at 5, must finish at 15. Between 5 and 15, suka hatilah as long as kosong. Faham? Setakat ni guys? Do you understand this part? Before we move on? Faham tak? Okay, so far okay, good. Okay, now you kena tahu how many extent, how many block needed. Sebab file 1 dan file 2 awak is a big size. And one extent, one block only can hold 256. So you do the simple maths. You bahagilah. So file number 1, 768 you bahagi 256, you dapat 3. Katakan ada perpuluhan 3.5, so you need 4. Dia boleh mana boleh guna setengah-setengah kan? So for this example you need 3. So 6. Okay, meaning to say, oh file number 1 saya kena ada 3 lokasi dalam matrix ni. And for file number 2, I need 6 location to store this file. Satu location tak muat, so kena bahagi. Satu location cuma dapat hold 2 bytes. Okay? Okay, sekarang you dah tahu. Okay, now you need to manage where you want to store inside this directory. So dia kata file number 1 must start at 7 and at 29. So you start at location 7 here. So file 1. So sudah taken tau. So 7. Apa next information? Dia kata 15N. So, sekatnya awak lah. 7, you nak letak nombor 8 boleh, letak 14 boleh, 6 bersuka hati. This is the example. So, katakan 7. Okay, 7 is the current location. So, 10 is the next address of the file. So, file 10. So, saya letaklah dekat sini file 1, 10. What is the next direction? 13. Saya letak dekat 13 mana 13? 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So, tadi kan 3 file saja. You need only 3. How many? 3. Kan, 1, 2, 3. So, the last one is 29. Sini last dia. So, dash. Dash maksudnya tak ada lagi dah. Faham tak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, dia is the start address. Ini start address dia. Tapi dia kenapa ada 29? Kenapa ada 29? Apa soalan awak kenapa 29? End address is 29. Bukan kenapa ada 29, end address is 20. Dia nak awak endkan dekat this address. End address. Faham tak? It's the end address. Kalau orang sebab start dekat sini. 1, 2, 3, you must end here. Kena. Dia kena end kat sini. Sama juga kalau file tu, kira ada 7 kan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Apa yang explain tadi? Mana ni? Macam tu. Ya, macam tu. Siapa nak bagi manual attendance at the last of the class, you must give your metric number, bukan in the middle of the class. Siapa yang manual attendance sebelum habis kelas semua orang balik, you kena stay and give me your metric number. Because I'm not going to scroll up your metric attendance. Faham tak yang ni? Guys? Tapi betul lah soalan awak kenapa dia 3, kenapa dia ni? Dia dah bagi tak? 7, 6, 8 bagi. Because that's a starting address. But dia kata required extend. 2, 2, 3. So last address kita tak payah kira. Jadi 29. So end dia sini. So you start kat sini 256, 256, 256. So the end dia here. Sama juga dengan nombor 2 kan 6 your question is valid lah nombor 6 ni. You start with 5. No, 5 here. Sini 1, 256. Mana 9? 256. And 12, 256, 256. And the last one will be 15. 15 last kali. Tak ada extend dah. Dan tamat at 29. Yelah, nombor 1 tu tamat dekat 29 lah. Current dia ni. Sebab ni 13, 29, last dia ke sini. Nanti kalau dia perlukan ada extend, dia akan start 29, letaklah nombor berapa start. Dia kena berada di blok tu. Sebab dia kata 29, so dia kena berada dekat blok ni. Dia must be at this position. Sebab tu lah yang 29 tu next to it tak ada apa-apa, dia letak dash sahaja. Dash sahaja. So you know the file 1 is ended. Macam tu. Under Rebecca. Next location between 5, 7 and 29 can be anyway. You must end at 29. You must end at 29. You must follow this description. Unless katakan dalam soalan yang ini tak ada, kosong, ni tak bagi, tak ada. Then it can be anywhere. Okay. Tapi dia pasti akan bagi awak initial position. Sebab tu macam nombor 15 dash. Dia ended dah, habis dah. End location dia habis dah. Sebab dia kata number of extend ni. Okay, example for file 1, the extend can be allocated at any of the location as long as it's not contiguous. So start at 7, and 29 have 3 extend together, 3 extend all together. Huh? Start at 5. Ni start at 5. 5 to start at 5. Ni start dekat sini. From 5 to 15 can be anywhere. Dia bukan dia start dekat 3 ni, dia start dekat sini. Awak imagine benda ni tak wujud tau. Tak wujud. Kan tadi saya kata, when you start the column, this benda ni tak wujud. Tak ada. Tak ada. Dia tak ada. Macam ni. Dia macam ni. So you start dari 5, then you decide what is the next location. It cannot be adjacent. Dia ada bagi nota kat sini. So okay, I want to start at dia start dekat 9 kan, dia start dekat sini. So saya letak dekat, you start dekat number 5. Start is 5. So dia letak 9 di sini. 9 pula you nak start kat mana? Saya dah tak ingat kat mana saya delete tadi. Kat mana? Macam tu, faham tak Rebecca? Dia bukan dia start dekat 3, dia start dekat 5. Dia start dekat 5, dekat sini kan tak ada, kosong. 3, you cari 3 kat mana 3? File 2, ni, 17, dia 17, 3. From position 17, baru dia pergi position 3. 3, go to 19. 19, go to 15. 15 habis. Bukan dia start dekat 3. Yeah, can be random but not adjacent to their own file. Cannot be sebelah dengan dia punya file sendiri. Faham tak? Boleh? Bukannya dia start nombor 2 ni, dia start dekat sini. Dia kata because the give you start is 5, then can be random anyway as long as not adjacent. Katakan file 2, you letak file 2 tu sebelah nombor 6, tak boleh. Kat sini ada note dia. Dan extend dia berapa? 1, 2, 3. Dia punya extend. Ini kan 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So tu dia base 1 tu dia extend. And dekat sini, and in between suka hati. As long as you tak boleh letak file 1 dengan file 2 sama tempat, tak boleh sebab you kan nak store you nak keep the file. So satu blok ni dia boleh simpan 256 saja. Okay? Itu je. Faham tak? So start 7, 29, in between suka hati. Okay? Ada yang dah left sebab ada kelas ke? Ini pun sama. This one is the same thing. Ni lagi senang, simple. Untuk nombor 8 ni guys pun the same thing. File 31, address is 4. So but you must know that the row by column metric 5 kali 6. Dia kata file 3, file 1 is address 4. File 3, file 1 is address 4. So ini dia. File 3, file 3, 2, address 7. The next one, address 19. This one, they ask you to just to fill in the row by column. Just to fill in based on this information. Okay, dia kata file 3, address 4, next 7. 3, 4, next 7. So 7. Ini 3, 2. 7, next 19. Itu dia punya sequence. 7, next 9, 19. Habis. Macam tu je. So 19 tak ada lah, dash tak ada next. Boleh faham? Dia just indexing. How you index? You want to manage the file. But the file, you kena pecah-pecahkan dia. It's not fit in one, dalam satu index ni dia tak cukup. Dalam satu blok ni dia tak cukup. Okay? Ini pun sama. This question, ini tak ada. Bayangkan ini tak ada. The question asks you given the following diagram, non-continuous file, for index store location with a draw the index table. They want you to draw the index table. So file index blocks. Okay. Okay, file 1. So file 1 dekat mana? So file 1, file 3. Okay, file 1, 1, 2, 3. Benda 12, 3. Okay, file 1, 10. Okay, file 1, 10. Jawapan dia 10. Macam mana 10? You go to blocks index number 10. You can see the list of the address kan. 1, 6, 11, 16. So, tengoklah 1 is file 1. 6, file 1. And then 11, file 1. 16, file 1. So, the index block Ini blok 10, blok indeks blok 10 adalah kepunyaan file 1. Ada macam tu. You bayangkan ni tak ada. Okay, file 1. So you tak tahu kan, you kan tengoklah 3, 17, 20 ni apa? 3 is file 3. No. So then you tengok okay, 12 apa? 12 file 2 is not file 1. So you look here, 1 is file 1, 6 is file 1. 6 is file 1, 11 is file 1, 16 is file 1. So the index block is 10. Okay, sama juga dengan yang ini. Okay, katakan file 2. You want to know which index block for file 2. Okay, tengok nombor 8 kan. This is block number 8. So 12. Go to 12. Oh, it's file 2. 13 is file 2. 18 is file 2. 15 is file 2. So the index block for file 2 is at this block, which is block number 8. Okay, file number 3 adalah mana index block dia? You carilah. 3, file 3, 17, file 3, mana 17, file 3, and then 20, file 3. So index block dia adalah di 5. Senang je kan? Indexing. Macam you index buku. Okay, boleh faham tak yang ini? Kan senang, tapi kena buat kalau tak memang you akan mudah tak faham. But dia memang senang, really easy. You ada file have to divide into smaller part because satu block can hold certain number of capacity. So but you need to keep track kat mana you simpan. Macam tu lah. So I think that's it for today. Maybe I will try to find one more slot. Slot ni tak wajib lah siapa yang datanglah sebab supposedly session dah finish lah sepatutnya. So I will try to find some time during the presentation week. So maybe 30 minutes for us to discuss the device management. Sebab next week on Tuesday I cuti, tak sempat nak buat kelas. So maybe during the presentation week kita ada Isnin dan Selasa kan untuk presentation week, because week 14 is your final exam. Okay, week 14 is your final exam. So saya tak sempat lah. So nanti untuk presentation we have 13, we have Monday and Tuesday. So maybe on okay, I will dedicate like 30 minutes. I will allocate a 30 minutes for us to discuss the question from the tutorial, especially the device management. Okay, then we start with our presentation. Boleh tak guys? Tak sempat hari ni. Sebab saya ingat sempat. Itu yang saya start 10:30. Dan semalam pula public holiday. Boleh I'm so sorry because of the delay. But I really hope you guys make an extra effort to read the lecture note, because the lecture note is quite straightforward to understand, especially for lecture 9 and 10. So I will leave it for you guys to read and watch the YouTube link. Okay, because previously we do it asynchronous where the students self-study except for the tutorial for the part that we have discussed just now. Because I do believe it's needed explanation. Okay, I think that's it for today's guys. For those who haven't scanned the attendance, I will share the attendance again. And siapa yang tak ada boleh scan, please leave your metric number before you leave the class. I'm not going to scroll up. Okay, siapa yang dah boleh balik, boleh balik pula. Okay, you can leave the session. Selamat Merry Christmas for those who celebrating. Happy holiday and Happy New Year everyone. Can see you next year. Okay, please alert with the announcement from Elite for our class, not class lah, very short discussion on the tutorial, and then for your presentation time and slot. Okay guys, take care everyone. Happy New Year. Okay, let me share the